Okay, welcome everybody. Super excited to have you hopping on this Zoom today. My name is Melody Sharon, and we're just coming together to share stories and share our heart with you. That's why this platform is called a Heart to Heart. It's something that we've just wanted to implement because as much as we have really exciting and awesome information to share, we also just love to share from our heart and take the time to connect on a personal level, because during these crazy times, a lot of people are just kind of having the opportunity to take a moment, pause, reevaluate. My life has been going this way. Do I want it to stay on that same trajectory, or am I maybe looking for something to mix it up a little bit? So a little bit about my story. I got married at the age of 20. My husband was 21. And when he was in his 22nd year of life, started dealing with a lot of health issues. And I had grown up with a dad as a doctor who's really passionate about wellness and nutrition. And I just never really thought about getting sick because I just thought if we're healthy, we'll stay healthy and young and feel great for a long time. But that wasn't the case. So when we were dealing with issues at what I would consider a really young age, it really rocked my world. And so much like this setting that we're on today, one day my dad called me up. With him being a doctor, people like to share good things and awesome information with doctors because, they think they always want to know the latest and greatest. So we had a friend of our family who's a physical therapist call my dad and ask him, have you ever heard of Nerve 2 activation? He was like, no. So he shared the information with him. And my dad was really busy at the time with what he had going on. But he was like, my daughter and son-in-law are really looking for answers with their health journey and wanting to get to the solution of getting to the root of things instead of just trying to cover up issues. So much like today, my dad said, download an app, get on Zoom, and the information that we have to offer was presented with me that day. And it honestly blew my mind because what we're going to be talking about is a breakthrough in science using herbs. So we have the ability to use naturally occurring compounds that come from plants to actually activate cellular pathways in our body to help our body stay young and healthy. And as amazing as that all sounds, what really, really impressed me was the fact that there was peer-reviewed research validating that this was proven, and it wasn't another guessing game like the cupboard full of natural remedies that we were trying. So we were excited to put those on pause and use something natural that had been proven. And in addition to wanting to implement these, not only for my husband, but also for myself, we really felt like we had a moral obligation to share with other people. And one of those people who came to my mind and heart right away was Terri Heagy, and she's the mom of one of mine and my husband's classmates from high school. And he had been visiting us just a couple months before back in Michigan and was just sharing about how his mom was really not doing well. So Terri Heagy is someone who is close to my heart and someone that both my husband and I have known for quite a while through our friend from high school. And I'm just really delighted that she's here with us today and able to share her story with us. So Terri, thank you for taking the time and being here today to share.
Thank you, Melody. As she said, my name is Terri, and this is actually a very hard story to tell. Doctors give up on me and told me that I had less than a year to live. I don't know if you know what it's like to have death stare you in the face. It's very depressing, and all my dreams were cut off. And it was a really hard time for me. But when I finally was able to surrender it all into God's hands, it was then that I had a determination that I was going to be the conqueror. I was not going to give up. And I decided to spend hours researching on how to restore my health. And one of the things that my dad suggested I needed to do was how to raise my glutathione. And as some of you know, glutathione is one of the most powerful antioxidant enzymes that the body can make, but it can slow down with age. And one day I came across a website that it was an interesting website. It said that it had a product that raised the body's own glutathione by 300%, but it didn't come right out and say what the product was. It was a secret. It gave a username and a password and to a link to learn more. And when I followed all of their instructions, I found out it was Protandim. It was called Protandim, and I'd never heard of it before. The problem was I had no idea how to get it. But then it was out of the blue that my son's friend, Melody, called to share this with me. And with what I was going through, I had a lot of people that shared stuff with me, and I was thinking, okay, here we go again. But as she talked, it sounded really familiar. And I said, wait, what is this stuff called? And she said, Protandim. I couldn't believe it. I felt like God had us. It's been 4.5 years now since that death sentence. The doctors continue to be really impressed with my results, and one said that I didn't even have to come back. I really feel very healthy, and with Protandim, I feel I have more energy than I've ever had before. It's incredible. In the middle of this experience, my husband decided that we needed to share this product. And I think it was a little over a year, I can't remember exactly, that we became Pro 5. It was just happening so fast. I didn't realize how incredible this business could be. And at one event, I distinctly remember someone asking, think about it. If someone hadn't shared LifeVantage with you, where would you be today? And I still get choked up thinking, I probably wouldn't even be here. And I am an introvert, and it's really hard to talk to people. Melody knows that this is a really hard thing for me to do, to get on Zoom and talk to everybody. When I consider if someone hadn't shared this with me, I think, how can I not share this with others? LifeVantage has something that's very special that can change lives, whether for our health or for financial. And all I can say is this is the best company to be a part of. Thank you, Melody, for letting me share.
Wow, Terri, your story just chokes me up every time. And as you know, you're super special to me. So I'm really glad that we can continue to make memories, and the time that we can spend together is really a treasure. So thank you for sharing. And it's really awesome kind of how this whole story segues, because Gary, I think, will share a little bit of the transition here, but it's really a special treat to have a husband and wife team who get on the same page for being super passionate about being able to help people with what we have. And that's exactly what Gary and Terri are. They're an awesome team and power couple when it comes to Terri's beautiful story, and then Gary just really being like, we can't keep this to ourselves, with what it's done for my wife. We need to educate other people. And I know it was probably about 2.5, 3 years ago that we were kind of getting a Facebook page going, and I was like, oh, I should invite Gary. And then Gary was checking out the info in the group and he was like asking me all these questions over Messenger. And he's like, is there anyone who does classes about life vantage and protandem in our area? And I was like trying to find someone who was local. And I was like, Gary, I really don't think so. And so we got on these Zooms and tried connecting to give them more information. And there's so many videos on YouTube. And so he just devoured the information and created a beautiful PowerPoint and started sharing with people in their community this incredible gift. So hopefully I didn't take away too much of your story, Gary, but I'm super glad that you're willing to share today some of why you became excited and maybe just some nuggets that you've learned along the way that you'd like to pass on to others.
Yeah, well, as Terri, shared her story, and we went through that process. I don't know why it took me so long to kind of catch on what was happening, but it took about 2 years of seeing what Protandem was doing for her. She kept telling me, oh, you've got to try this. It'd be really good for your health and so forth. And I was like, I don't have any real health issues. I don't really need it. You just use it. And kind of that went on and on. But finally, it really struck me like, wow, what is this stuff anyway? I just knew that she was taking some stuff out of a blue bottle that Melody had told her about. And that was about all I knew. So yeah, it was at that point, I started asking Melody a lot of questions. I was going on the internet, doing a lot of my own research, reading a lot of things, and came to an understanding of what this is all about. And I'll just share for a couple minutes, although Melody knows I can go on for an hour about this because it's so exciting and what all it can do and why it does it and all of that. But yeah, like Melody said, I came to the point where, we've got to share this with people. This is, like Melody said, a moral obligation to let people know about Protandem. And I just decided I'm going to start on such and such a date, a couple weeks. And I told Terri and she said, okay, I'll make sure the house is clean. And that's all I want to do. And so we got started in sharing with people. And that's been a couple years now. And it has been such a blessing, the people that we have shared it with, to see their health improve and all the many things, so many stories. But an illustration that I've heard that really helped me understand kind of what was going on is like if you were to have a house with 30 trillion bedrooms in it, and it started on fire, a fire going in your 30 trillion room house, call the fire department, they come rushing out with 10,000 firefighters. Each of them come rushing into the house with a Dixie cup of water, and they're racing around throwing their little Dixie cup, and then that's it. It's like, that would not do well with putting out this fire in this house. And I related that to our bodies. We have 30 trillion cells approximately in our bodies, and each of these cells is battling all the toxins, the exhaust from the mitochondria, changing food into energy, and the things we breathe in, and all the different chemicals we eat and so forth, so that each of our cells is combating about 100 billion free radicals a day. And with the approach that science takes is that you should take antioxidant pills. That's kind of like the 10,000 little firefighters rushing in with a Dixie cup. It's really going to be totally ineffective. And so the result is, our bodies can increase in what's called oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is the cause of aging and like over 200 diseases. There's no reason, in that kind of method that we're not all dead. We couldn't survive with all this. But fortunately, God created some enzymes in each of our cells that is able to actually, with each of the molecules of those enzymes, wipe out 1 million of those free radicals. So that's the only reason we can survive with this, toxic world and all these free radicals that we have in our bodies. However, as we get older, our body produces fewer and fewer of these enzymes. And about 50 years ago, these enzymes were discovered by scientists, and they started to look at ways to make those enzymes work better. And of course, the way science does it is to create a drug or to make synthetic enzymes, trying to duplicate what God had put in our cells. But those were basically ineffective or toxic, just really didn't do much. Until about the early 2000s, when the small health company, LifeVantage, started doing research on how to activate those enzymes using herbs. They started testing different herbs, and none of them by themselves could do anything. But after making several different combinations, they finally came up with a combination that actually activated those enzymes. In fact, 1,800% better than the sum of all those enzymes by themselves. So it's pretty exciting, because that is the result of that is what Protandim is. It's actually able to activate every single cell to produce these enzymes that our body really needs. So very exciting. ABC News and other places have done investigative reports on it. Universities and many institutions have done studies. My favorite study is, because we live in southeastern Washington, is one that Washington State University did. We actually lived right there in the same town as Washington State University. And their study said that the health effects of this could become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So when I saw that study, I was like, whoa, that is incredible. And again, I didn't feel like I needed the therapeutic approach like Terri did. But when I saw that it said preventative as well, breakthrough, I realized at my age, things can sneak up on you that you don't even realize they're there. So I realized I needed to be taking it like Terri had told me. And so it was at that point that I also started taking Protandim. And in the meantime, they've been continuing to do a lot more research on different avenues in the cells. They have to do with the mitochondria and the longevity genes and so forth. So some awesome ways to activate NRF2 in our brain and on our skin and with animals, pets, and so forth. A lot of things that I would encourage you to look into and see what is able to enhance your health and also the ones of people that you love. So anyway, Melody, I'll leave it at that. Like I said, I could go on for a long time. It's really exciting. But that's just a little overview gist of it.
Awesome. Well, you've definitely got our curiosity piqued. And if we haven't seen your full overview yet or all of the information, I'm sure we're all the more eager to learn more of what you have to teach us. And thank you for just really creating that synopsis of how this is totally different. It's a totally different approach with activating our body versus supplementing or using pharmacology. And it's just absolutely incredible. That study that you highlighted by Washington State University is definitely one of my favorites. The health effects of activation may be one of the most extraordinary preventative and therapeutic breakthroughs in the history of medicine. I just have to say that again because that's powerful. You might be hearing about this for the first time today, and we're just sharing some stories to pique your interest and kind of help you realize that we have a gift here. But just like we've taken it upon ourselves to share with other people, I would really encourage you to take it upon yourself to dig deeper so that you really understand this, and not only dig deeper so that you understand it, but experience the benefits for yourself by getting started so that you can have your own story develop as well. So I know Julie Mai, who's going to be sharing next, has a really powerful story of how she saw a transformation in her mom's life, and really just how the opportunity that we have with our company has been a game changer for her as well. And in segueing into that, I'd love to share that with our breakthrough and with our products that we have, these products used to be available on the shelves of stores like GNC, Rite Aid, High Health, and the scientists who were working behind the development of them have been given incredible awards for their discovery and their scientific background. But the crazy part is that when this product was sold on the shelves of stores, because it was such a new concept and a new approach to health and wellness through activating our genes and our cellular pathways, people weren't understanding the value of it. And so 10 years ago, we have switched to a more progressive model where people are sharing with people instead of just having a bottle sit on the shelves of stores with no story or explanation behind how it works. And so that's why we're a group of people joining forces together to educate and share this information, because we're network marketers and we're passionately sharing our stories and we're explaining the benefits of these incredible products that we move through our website. So Julie has an incredible story with her mom and even just how her own life has been transformed through being part of this company. And we're just so delighted to have her time and knowledge and inspiration with us here today. She's a mama of 4 and a business owner prior to LifeVantage, and she just is a wealth of knowledge. So thank you, Julie, for being here.
Oh, thanks, Melody. Thank you so much for the introduction. And thank you, Gary and Terri, for your stories. I love hearing, obviously the health part, the health benefit stories are just so inspiring. And then when, Gary, you went into the science a little bit, even though I've heard it hundreds of times, I'm just always in awe how blessed we are to be a part of this company and a part of these products and what they're doing for people. And so just thank you for sharing your stories. I'll share a little tidbit of my story. And then like Melody said, mine's a little bit different along the lines of me personally. I didn't really have any health ailments when this was brought my way, but I did have an ailment of being a suffering mom, of not spending enough time with my children. And so I found myself about 7 years ago, like Melody said, working hard at my business, doing everything that I thought I did, thought I was building my dreams for that financial freedom. But really I was just digging deeper and deeper into slavery of my own business and not having the time to spend with my kids, who were at that time too, of 6 and 3. And so when a friend came to me, with an idea, or really just, she came to me with an invite about a product that was really changing her husband's life. Of course, some red flags went up, maybe for those of you that this is your first time, similar feelings of, okay, now my friend's going to try and sell me something. The last thing I want to do is start another business. I'm so, already overwhelmed, but because I valued our friendship and because I trusted, her as a person, I did decide to look at the information. And when I was given this information, sort of like you are tonight on this call, I was really blown away with the idea of activation. And I really think that's what we want to get across, is this is a whole different idea, this nutrigenomics, this cellular activation of how we can help our body create what it already naturally is God-given. Our bodies are the magical instrument. And unfortunately, the supplementation world is this multi-billion dollar, into take this and take that, and it's going to do this and it's going to do that. But really, honestly, I've never been a big fan of supplements, because I always believe I am what I eat. I eat really healthy, I exercise, and I believe that a lot of the stuff we take, it just processes right through our body. This idea of activation, it really intrigued me. And I decided to do my own research. I wanted to go out and I wanted to really kind of dig into this product, dig into this company and see, is it just another one of those things that, they're saying they do this, this, and this, but do they really? And that's what I found, like Gary so, nicely shared, all these different peer-reviewed studies by universities, by these associations like American Heart Association, these really incredible, notable third-party validations about our product that were doing their own research, not just our company. And that really was like a big kind of a sigh of relief, and also like, wow, there's something to be said about this product. It's different. It wasn't made for network marketing. Like Melody shared, it was actually made to be a retail product, because the story is so different. It wasn't do well. Now what we know within this industry, that the most powerful way to really get a product out there to the world is by sharing in a platform like this. I talk about it a lot, where a movie that you love, you tell your friends. You eat at a restaurant that you love, you tell your friends, but you don't necessarily get a kickback from any of that. So this is the same idea, is we found a product in an incredible company that's changing people's lives. And because of that, we get a little kickback. And so when I really understood the power of what we had our hands on, shared it with my mom, and saw incredible transformation with her health, literally changed her into a different person. And she really got to start living again in her mid 60s. It was such a beautiful thing for me to witness. For all of you who have moms, you have a happy mom, and everyone's happy if mom is happy. And so that to me was a big, like, I got to get this out there and start sharing this with people. And that's what I did. And then I started to realize the power of leverage and how some of the most successful people in the world build networks of people and teams. And that's really what this is. And that's why, I like to share the business side, because that's truly what, of course, my mom and all the different health stories, but the financial aspect too. If you're wondering, maybe you're in a place like me, you're sick and tired of working so hard, or you're wondering about your retirement, or maybe this pandemic has affected you in a way where you're like, I could really use another income stream. This is such a beautiful way to create that in your life, because it's about helping other people become successful. And that's become my passion, is teaching people about leveraged income and teaching people that residual income is such a beautiful thing if done right. Network marketing is such a beautiful thing if done right, because you tell someone who tells someone who tells someone, and all of a sudden you have all these amazing health stories, but also all these amazing business stories of people, creating these new streams of income, if you will. So that's really, what happened for me is I got excited about getting my time back by really believing in what I was sharing with people. And I built this for about 3 years, and I was able to step away, and that wheel that I had created with the team kept going, because everybody was on the same path of sharing, in these incredible products and sharing this incredible business. And I was able to have my third child, who was a little boy, thought I would be away for about 6 months to a year. We got pregnant again. Total surprise, but also a total blessing. And so now we have 4, but because I had built this residual leveraged wheel, I was able to stay away with them and really be present and be that mom and have that check continue to come in, because what we have with Protandim is not like anything else in the world. You can't go to Walmart or Long's or Rite Aid or GNC and buy anything like it. We have a standalone product. So when people understand and it starts to change their life, they come back and they want more of it and they want to tell other people about it. So it's this solid, incredible business model. So I was able to step away, have my babies, and then life kind of got a little hard, hit me in the face, just like a lot of people right now are going through some tricky times with this pandemic. I think everyone's feeling a little bit of that scarcity or that fear of what's going to happen. Do I have a job to go back to? Or, is my retirement going to be solid with everything that's happening? And so I really think people's blinders are coming off a little bit. They're more open to the possibility there's a different way to do business, or even just an extra couple $100s a month can change a lot of people's lives. So that's why I feel it's in, like Gary said, a moral obligation to share not only the product, but the business side, because of what it's done for my life. Recently, about 6 months or in December, my mom, although Protandim changed her life and she was able to live a really healthy, incredible last 7 years of her life, her heart did give out and she passed away back in December. And I will tell you that if I had a job that I had to go to, if I had a boss that was going to, threaten to fire me because I couldn't get out of bed, it would have been extremely harder than it already was. But because I had built that residual income, and I'm sharing this with you because I believe there comes a time in our life that that well that we're digging becomes empty, and we all get thirsty, and we're all hoping that we have something to back on. And because I had created this, this business or this incredible residual income, I was able to stay in bed as long as I needed. I was able to be there I was able to do what I needed to do without having to worry about how I was going to feed my children, how I was going to pay the bills. And so I really understood the power of what we have our hands on and how that continues to go with or without you. So just wanted to share that story on more of a human level with you guys, that life happens to us all. It's not really the blowing of the wind's our destination, but it's the set of our sail. And if you're given an opportunity to change that, course in your life, then by all means, grab a hold of it, do more research, see what this is really about, because as you can tell, we're excited. We're so grateful that this came into our life. It truly, truly has been the most incredible gift that anybody offered me by that one phone call to invite me to that one, little meeting to learn about a product that was changing her life, which then has continued to change my life day after day after day. So thank you so much for allowing me to share. And I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, Melody.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, Julie. I think you're absolutely right that we all face different storms in life, and they might be health storms or time juggle storms or financial storms, but really we have an option here with LifeVantage and with our company to weather those storms. And so if you're currently facing a storm and you're looking for answers, we want to help. And so we can provide you with more information. This is just us coming together and sharing our hearts with you, but we'd love to get your questions answered and help support you in however you would like to get involved, whether it's a customer who can benefit from the health aspects, whether it's joining our team and our mission of having a greater purpose for impacting the world and changing our own personal lives in a more significant way through that ripple effect, or whether you know of other people who you would love to connect with us so that they can benefit from this information. We're just glad you've taken the time to learn more, and we want to thank you for joining us here today on this Zoom. So many blessings, and have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you, Terri, Gary, and Julie, for sharing today. Love you guys.